Hi, Shaco here, coming to you from the green rolling hills of West Virginia. I'm on Rendog's Dogcraft server in the nether of the Husky survival world, 30 overworld kilometers south of the spawn in the Nether Tunnel Network, or NTN. The NTN is this grid of iceboat roads with a major overworld portal every 15,000 blocks or 15 overworld kilometers, and I have just entered a build contest to design and construct overworld towers to house the portals. I was just assigned this site today, and I've been through here and marked out the protection area already. So it's right here. It's a 25 by 25 square, and the build that is inside this square will be judged. And we can terraform around it, but that won't be judged. It'll only be inside this square. The build must strictly be 25 by 25. So I already went through here and I surveyed some of the existing surroundings, such as a little community over here and a little base that's over here, and the biomes. And none of the builds have really inspired me to harmonize with them, but I have noticed that there's basically mesa on like 3 sides of this site. And there's a lot of sand and a lot of red sandstone. And I have a prototype of my building already that I've tried with a few different color schemes. And I tried sandstone and red sandstone in it. And the red sandstone just looks too dark. I don't want to use it, but the sandstone one looks really good. And it's paired with blackstone, which is a good nether-themed material. So I think that's probably the material scheme that I'm going to use for my building. Now that I have that planned out, I think I'm going to go ahead and start terraforming the site. I think the building's probably going to have a lower level that's exposed on one side, since it's kind of on the slope here. And the building that I designed already, it's, on a flat site, but I would just add a basement level, basically, and there's more amenities that could go in there, so that could be really helpful. So I'm going to go ahead and start building that. So the book of contest specifications said that it would be a good idea to incorporate some lore or something into the design of the build, and I am really not great with storytelling or coming up with lore. But what I am really great at is architecture history, because I study it on a collegiate level. It helps, certainly, that my college is only a 10-minute drive from such sites as Harper's Ferry and Antietam Battlefield, so I'm really immersed in it all the time. And for the style of my build, I've decided on postmodernism. And you might be asking, well, why postmodernism and what the heck is that? So there is a little bit of backstory and explanation that's involved, so stick with me here. So you might be able to tell from the name of postmodernism that it comes after modernism. And, well, what is modernism? It's a term in architecture that tends to get misused a lot. A lot of people use modern to refer to any new building, and that's not entirely true. See, the Industrial Revolution brought 2 different things in architecture. One is that it brought a new way to mass manufacture architectural features, and for the first time, ordinary architecture, such as what might be built by a farmer out in the Midwest or something, started to become highly decorated with materials and ornamentations that were highly in trend at the time. And instead of building techniques that may have been passed down through generations of family, which would be the case previously. The other thing that the Industrial Revolution brought was a new way to mass manufacture new types of building materials, such as steel and concrete. Some very forward-thinking architects, especially in Europe, started wondering, what if we create a new architecture that is all about these new building materials and focuses squarely on them, it's utilitarian, and it rejects all former notions of traditional architecture, no Greek, no Roman, no neoclassicism. And thus, modern architecture was born. And of course, the overarching theme of modernism was also minimalism. The German architect Mies van der Rohe said less is more. But obviously, not everyone really thinks that a minimalist building with no ornamentation is really something that you can get a feeling from and that really speaks to you. And that's when Robert Venturi and Denise Scott Brown enter the picture. They were husband and wife architects who decided to go and study a very interesting location where some developments had been happening in architecture aside from the academic architecture community. And that place was Las Vegas. Now, Las Vegas is, of course, meant to be, an adult playground. It's supposed to be fun in some of the wildest senses of the word fun. And how do you do that through a cityscape and architecture? And the answer, of course, is in buildings like the famous Caesar's Palace there. It's not architecture that is utilitarian and void of feeling. It's architecture that is designed to make you feel something, and in this case, it is fun, it's playful, it's wild. And Caesar's Palace and other buildings like it use imagery of other types of architecture to evoke these feelings. So Venturi and Scott Brown were interested in studying this, and they wanted to know, how does this symbolic architecture make people feel, and is it important for the field of architecture to recognize its importance? And so they set off to Las Vegas, did their studies, returned, and published a book called Learning from Las Vegas, in which they described exactly these findings, where they found that architectural ornamentation has meaning to people and makes them feel something. And we should not ignore its ability to do this. And in publishing this book, Venturi and Scott Brown essentially kicked off postmodernism, what comes after modernism, where we're no longer inconsiderate to feeling in architecture, where it's now the star of the show. So basically, traditional architecture uses elements of ornamentation and detailing that have been developed over time by civilizations and societies to serve their own functions. Classical architecture looks very decorative, but a lot of it is also functional as a post and beam or an arcaded structural system. Postmodernism takes those architectural elements, turns them into symbols, and uses those symbols to evoke that architecture without being it. Now, that doesn't mean that modern architecture is undecorated or boring. It just means that it doesn't use the symbols and the features of traditional architecture. So it's more likely to use color and light and shade to create style. And a modern building, as opposed to a postmodern building, will essentially always have this important distinction. All of its style will come from its usage of large geometries, such as large rectangles or other shapes, and a combination of light and shadow, and possibly color. Of course, what this often means is that a modern building will often not quite fit into its surroundings, other than in basic geometry. It doesn't really consider the area's cultural heritage or folk architecture. Postmodernism will take the traditional buildings in an area, turn their basic features into symbols, and use those symbols to define itself. So what does that mean for the tower that I'm building? What it means is that the tower I'm building is not going to be a modern building in its entirety. It's going to look new. It's going to look like it was recently built in the 21st century, but it's not going to be a giant glass or metal block. The first story of the building will be marked by a large glass wall, which will allow for some very nice views out this way, and let a lot of light in, while the rest of the building above and around it will feature a few architectural details that you might find in an early 20th century building that may have served as a transportation station, which is the reason why I'm using those features here. And mainly I'm thinking of Beaux-Arts architecture. Beaux-Arts came from the École des Beaux-Arts, which I'm sure I'm pronouncing wrong, because I really actually don't know how to pronounce it. But it was a school of architecture in France that kind of created this new brand of neoclassical architecture, which spread around the world, especially in the United States, though. So I suppose there's a little bit of irony in the fact that my postmodern building is not really going to be imitating anything that's around it, other than maybe the desert, but not the existing buildings that other players have built already. But I really think the Beaux-Arts inspiration that I have will work well for this building, and really serve its purpose as a transportation hub. So I don't want to go too much into detail explaining Beaux-Arts architecture or any of my other inspirations for the traditional side of this postmodern building, but I think it'll be a little bit self-explanatory when the building starts to come more into shape later on. Alright, I have made the foundation and lower level for the building. I have not made the floor for the main level yet. That will come later because I think I want to make a nice design for it, and I haven't designed that design yet, so I don't know yet what it will be, but this is the lower level here, and I'm, of course, going to decorate it to make it look a little bit less depressing. There will be sort of a utility room or office kind of space back here of some kind. Staircase in this corner, and of course this will make a little bit more sense when the design of the building is more fleshed out. There's a portal right here. There will be entrances on all four sides. This one is an elytro landing platform. And if you go out this side of the portal, this will be just a little vestibule room, and then a different doorway out here. These blocks sticking out here will be the basis for window mullions that will go in. Now, if you don't know what a mullion is, it is one of those bars that separates different sections of a same window. And usually those separate glass panes from each other, but in this case, I'm actually going to have the glass panes affixed to the front of them, which is something you can do in real life. Building near me has an example of that. And it's something I like to do in Minecraft with more modern or postmodern style buildings because I think it gives a really nice architectural effect. And I've been doing it a lot more lately, and I'd like to put it in a new context here. Alright, I have the mullions for the windows placed in what will be this grand atrium on the main level of the building. And I also have the new nether portal in, which I made sure already links up to the hub in the nether. And these glass windows will continue over to the stairwell and will go up this corner of the building all the way to the roof. Alright, it's raining right now, but I wanted to show you real quick. I got this glass in these windows here. I've got some lighting in the floor. I got ceiling beams put in and a ceiling surface put in for most of the ceiling. There's now a balcony here with these posts, these columns, and a portal. Hello, pigmen. Behind the portal, there's going to be this other little vestibule room. I forget if I said that already. Maybe I did. In another room off to the side here, this might be, I don't know, a map room or something. I've decided on copper as a floor accent material. Or I wasn't sure if I would like it, but I tried it in single player and actually really liked it. So I'm going to put copper as a border, and then the design will be in the middle. And there's some copper stairs going up here, and going down to the lower level. There will be lanterns hanging from the ceiling to accent the ceiling, and I already put in some lanterns down here as well to light up this lower level. And I might change this material for the stairs to a deep slate to match the walls here. I'm not sure. It looks a little bit funky being black stone among all this deep slate. I'll figure that out. Up here, there will just be a little lounge area and some other room. I don't know what this will be. But yeah, on to the next thing. Alright, so I've got some flooring in here now. I'm not sure if this will be the final design. It is a little more plain than I originally expected, but I decided on going with calcite as a secondary floor material. So that's also on the second and third floors, as well as the basement floor, which I have finished. And I finished this little back room. I still need to put a door on it and figure out exactly what this is going to be. And I need to add doors over there as well. But I've put in this glass balustrade on the stairs, finished this room over here, and this will be the back entryway on the other side of the portal. And let's go upstairs, and I have nearly finished a little room back here, and there's this little balcony area looking down on the atrium, and there will be another a floor of offices above that. So this floor here is just a few offices or other some kind of other administrative space, I guess you could say. And the next few floors above this will be like bedroom suites, like a hotel sort of. That'll kind of match this layout. So like a bedroom here, and then like a some bathroom or something here. And then this will be another one of those one of these big picture windows that will start at the next floor here. And I will show you what this looks like on the outside now. So coming in from a distance, here's the facade. Here's the side, the back side, and the other side. And next I'm going to start building more of these walls here. Alright, I've got the floors, walls, and ceiling in here, and I realized that to have the lighting that I wanted, which is these hanging lanterns, I couldn't really put them on these slabs on the ceiling, so I decided to go with this design of like ceiling joists going across, and it adds a sort of an image of structure. And I put them down here as well, and in this room, so it looks more structural, and you can hang these lanterns from them, so it's a win-win. This floor is mostly done. I just need to put in doors here. And of course, these windows are glassed in, so this is what these windows will look like on the interior when they're done. And I've started up on the fourth floor here, which will be the first floor of bedrooms. And I've built most of the staircase all the way up. So this is about as high as the building will be. There will be 8 floors total. That's not including the lower level, the basement, which makes it 9. But there's 8 fully above ground floors. So then I'm going to do the walls for this floor next. Alright, so I've finished the first of these bedroom floors. This is floor 4, and there will be 4 through 8, so that's 5 total. And this is what they will look like. So you come off the stair landing, and there's this little lounge area right here. And then there's 3 rooms, which are mostly identical. They're slightly different sizes. But there's a room, and then there's probably a bathroom. And of course, I'll put curtains over the windows if these will actually be bathrooms. Yeah, these will be different sizes. So this one is a little bit longer, and it has this little alcove here. And this one is more elongated out the back. And the next few floors will be all exactly the same as this. Alright, so the building is nearly topped out. I have one more floor to go, and it will be inside a large cornice that will be at the top here. But I have these arched windows, which I just finished, and they do make the this floor a little bit smaller on the inside, because this wall comes out one more block. But I think that'll be alright. It's still a nice sized room. Also, I have the staircase fully finished. This is as high as it will go, and this is as high as the glass wall will go, and it will meet the top of the cornice right here. Alright, here's the building with the finished cornice, and I'm going to cap it off right up here on the top of this parapet wall. A little bit more nicer looking with some trim when I'm done with the top floor here. But here's the top floor, and fully finished staircase. Got some nice finishing details here on this corner. And I've just got to build the walls of this and the ceiling and the roof, and then architecturally, this is going to be basically done. Alright, so here's the roof without the finish on it, and for the finishing touch, I'm going to use these cobbled deep slate slabs, and the reason I'm using these is because they resemble gravel, sort of, not quite, but almost, and often in real life, gravel is used as a finishing material on flat roofs. Not so much today as it was in the past. It used to be more common. But definitely one of the ways to finish a flat roof is gravel. So that's what I'm imitating here. Alright, here is the finished roof. And here is the finished building. Ta-da! So next I'm going to be working on this circle, which is going to be a pathway around the building, going up the hill and back down the other side. And there will be some landscaping around, some bushes. I think I'm going to do an axolotl pond, and there will be a path going out this way over to the settlement over there, and possibly another path out that way to the settlement that's over there. So after I get some last finishing touches on the interior of the building, I'm going to start on the landscaping. Alright, so I haven't been recording for a while because I've had a guest over, and I've also been having a lot of schoolwork, so I haven't been making much progress in the past few days, but I've been working a little bit more. One thing I've done, if I haven't shown it already, is I put in these corner posts that I had actually forgotten to do before. And you might be wondering, why would I put these, and what's the purpose of it? And it's actually... it's a little bit pedantic because it's not something you would care about in Minecraft, really, but from a realism perspective, which is what I like, these are pretty important to me because they actually hold up the corners of the building above. So I really want to have these here for that realism aspect. And the other thing I've done is basically all of the landscaping. I have a path that goes around in a loop, and paths that come off to the sides of the doors. I have a replica of Sutsuma Void's Gaudy Guardian, which he built in Hermitcraft Season 7, and he hated it, but I actually think it's kind of silly, so I wanted to put it in front of the building here. So this is what the building looks like with all the landscaping around. Let's see. Yep, I got the hotbar slot for my rockets correct, if I'm guessing. So here's what the landscaping looks like from an aerial view. I've got a bridge over to the desert here in case someone wants to go over there. And the paths, they kind of extend out in each direction a short ways just to get people going out there. And they connect up to this little village over here as well, just to offer a little interconnection between projects. And over here I made a map. So this is what the map view of the area looks like. There is one change I want to make, though. Right now, this portal is somewhat two-sided, and you can come out this side and go into this atrium here. But you could also come out and go into just this one singular room. And my fear is that someone might come out into here and not realize that there's this other atrium over here and just go straight out this door. So I actually would like to block off this wall and have a door through this wall instead. So I temporarily put the map right here, but I'm really not liking this location because it just doesn't look right. So I'm thinking of two things right now. I could put it on the floor right here, That would be an interesting design choice, and think I'm going to try it. And if I don't like that, then I might do like a display board right here. But I would actually like to put like small like tables and chairs along the windows here instead. Yeah, this looks a little bit weird right now, but I think that'll change when I get some more furnishings in the room here. All right, so it's been a little while. I've been really busy with schoolwork, and it has been days since I've been on here, but the contest is over, and I believe this is the little prize. Now, I didn't place in the top three, which is all right with me, uh, but I made some last minute furnishings, and I just wanted to show those off real quick before the end of the video. The other furnishings I added are in the basement, and there's a nice sitting room down here with a nice mossy carpet floor and a nice directory here. And this was specifically complimented during the judging of the towers. So I have some basic architectural information. You'll usually see this like in a building lobby, you know, when it was built and who the architect, designer, builder of the building was. And of course, I got to update this. It didn't place. It was just, you know, an entry that was recognized. But I have, you know, floor B, which is this floor. 1 and 1 mezzanine is what M means. Offices, floor 2, overnight rooms 3 through 7. And then at the bottom, there's different points of interest and which direction they are away from the tower. So that's basically everything, I believe. I must say, even though this didn't place in the top results, I'm really happy with how this build came out. It's simultaneously within my comfort zone and very much outside my comfort zone. It breaks a lot of bounds for me while being very much me. And I'm proud of that. I'm really happy with it. I was asked whether I was going to finish furnishing all of the rooms on the upper floors, and I really have no idea. I don't have a lot of time right now, so I guess the answer is just if I ever get around to it. That's really the best I can say. But yeah, I'm done with this building and very proud of it. So that's all. With BSL shaders, this place looks absolutely incredible.